Well, good evening everyone. My name is Eric Romine. This is our group project for Principles of Science and Investigation. My other group members are Jonathan Atkinson and Faith Metzler, and our topic was, is the use of animals in research justified? So right here is one of my 3 dogs. I have Annie, she's our oldest, she's 6 years old. She's going to join me in to show that I'm not all heartless when it comes to animals. The first question we had to answer in that discussion was, in what sense does trying to understand the world from an animal's point of view amount to trying to escape our humanity? I don't feel that we are trying to escape our humanity, but we do have a tendency to personify animals, especially our pets. It is thought that humans are extremely relational, and many extend our social, moral, and emotional connections to other things, animals and objects. How many of you have ever talked to your car as if it could hear you? How many of you have ever had a pet that you talk to and listen to? As I mentioned, I have 3 dogs and I talk to them all the time. I know that they understand what I'm saying and they talk back to me. Not in words, obviously, but they do talk back with me. By extending animals to my social network and establishing emotional connections with them, I have also placed moral value on them. Does this take away from my humanity? I think it only adds to my humanity. And I apologize beforehand if Annie may interrupt my thoughts or interrupt what I'm trying to say, but she might have something important to say about animal research. Right? Is the use of animals in biomedical research best justified by the search for the treatments for human illness or by the search for understanding? That's a tough question. The first question should be, do you believe in animal testing? While discussing this issue, our group did not agree on this matter. There are 3 of us in our group, and one person stated that they did not agree with animal testing at all. The entire group thought that it was a good thing that there are organization, laws, and guidelines in place to regulate how animals are treated and how they're tested. We could agree that even though they are being used for experimentation, we should still treat them humanely. And after reading through everybody's articles and responses, it seems to be a general consensus. There are articles and tools available to be used to recognize pain in animals, to promote their well-being, and the list goes on and on and on. Many organizations that are very concerned with the treatment of animals and testing. There are many estimates on what animals are being used in scientific studies. The average is around 90% of all test animals are rats and mice. Less than 1% are believed to be cats, dogs, and primates. Also gone are the days of collecting animals from the environment to use. The majority of test animals come from farms or breeders specifically for that purpose. We no longer typically go out to the environment and take animals from the wild or from their environmental niche. And if you're like me, and most people probably would be, probably agree that as far as the mice and the rats are concerned, they could use 100% of those and it would not bother me at all. The cure, vaccines, and knowledge we've gained from animal testing has been immeasurable. We may not think about it because we don't have to worry about it in the here and now, but animal research led to a vaccine for smallpox, anthrax, rabies, and polio. Are any of you diabetic? Dogs and fish were used in experiments to develop your insulin. Many of us may either be a diabetic or no one. How much do you think that insulin is worth to you? Animals have been used to develop surgical procedures to include organ transplants. One of our group members has a mother that has heart trouble. Even if you may feel you're against testing, when you're in a situation where you would benefit from experimentation done on animals, not many people would turn it down. Dogs were very instrumental in helping develop heart transplant and open heart surgery, other procedures done on heart patients. Many things, if we didn't have in place now, many people wouldn't make it. All we can do is, at that point, is thank and honor their sacrifice in the name of science. Thank you and the rest of your breed for what you've done for us. However you look at it, it's not a simple yes or no answer. It is an extremely personal feeling for many people that no scientific justification can excuse. Perhaps as we learn more, we will advance our knowledge to the point that there will no longer be a need to use animals in research. Alistair Ken of the Genetic Interest Group said, "Each experiment brings the day closer when we no longer need to use animals, because then we will know enough to work safely with patients." The last two things we discussed in the discussion board as a class are very personal and very hard to answer topics. They have to do with morals and they have to do with rights. Now, morals, as the discussion board asked, Tom Regan says there's a problem if we make too stringent the criteria for whether a creature has moral rights. We're supposed to discuss this problem. Well, that's very difficult. Moral rights, a little hard to pin down. There is no right or wrong. There is no concrete black and white explanation or answer to that. Do animals have morals? I mean, morals are, considered, the thoughts that people have. Think of what's right and wrong. If someone is said to have high morals, would be a moral person, then they believe in doing right or wrong. Now, do animals believe or have that kind of thought process where they can, be considered and have morals? I don't think so. I love my animals. I think they're very smart as far as animals go, and I do feel that they sense my mood and they can listen to me and respond to me, but is it out of instinct or just a desire to please? Or, I don't know. No one, I think, can tell you. If you have pets, you might have your own answer, and if you don't, you might not, might not be familiar with that. But as smart as this dog is, Annie, she's still a dog. I don't think she has the mental capacity to have a sense of morals, a sense of what's right or wrong. Hers is all instinct. She knows what's wrong because she's been corrected over the years, taught certain actions that she does. She's been corrected so she doesn't do them again. Others, actions that she's done, she's been rewarded for, so she'll repeat those. That's not an intellectual thing. I think that's more of an instinctual thing. It's oh, that doesn't feel good, and when I do that, they correct me. It's that doesn't feel good, I'll stop that. I do something else, I get rewarded. I get a treat, I get something else. I think I'll keep doing that. I want another treat. So that was a very hard question right there for any of us in my group to discuss, or me personally, because morals are something that you can't pin down.